What's up, guys? So on this episode, I'm going to do things a little bit differently for a couple reasons. And you'll notice that I'm not at home right now filming. I'm at a bigger shop because today I'm working on a new vehicle I just acquired, and it won't fit in my garage. So of course, you can probably tell by now just by watching behind me that there is a vehicle behind me, and that's what we're going to be looking at today. So let's just go check it out. All right, so this is my new, to me, 1997 Ford E350 Club Wagon. So it's a 15-passenger van, and as you can see, it's extremely long. It's about 20 feet long, I think. And this particular model is powered by a 7.3-liter Power Stroke diesel. And that was one of the selling points for me, is I wanted something that was diesel, not just because of its towing capacity and fuel mileage, but because it sounds awesome, and I haven't really had a diesel in my life, so I think it's about time. So more on that later, but I'll just take a quick look around it. We can kind of go over, the pros and cons of this vehicle. There are definitely a lot of issues with it, but most of them are pretty minor. So as you can see, the body's in pretty good shape. It's filthy because I was driving it around. But in terms of rust, the only real rust we've got is down here. There's some fender well rust there. Down here, the rocker panel on this side is rotting out pretty good. Like, it's not rotting through, but it's all spongy, so not the greatest. Come around back here, everything's pretty straight and in line. There is some rust back in here behind the bumper on either side, not too bad. The doors are all in good shape. They all open and close perfectly fine. We've got the tow package on here. The previous owner used this to tow a camper trailer, so it was never really used for any heavy duty stuff, just road trips with the family, that sort of thing. So I know it's there beaten on. And yeah, we got the old Power Stroke on there. Nice thing about these things, about these older diesels, is that they're pretty noisy, and I like the noisy clackety noises that the diesels make, but fortunately it's not really noisy enough, so we're gonna fix that today. Let's open this up here. Got some tools in the back that I brought with me, and the key here is this right there. That is 4-inch exhaust tubing, 10 feet of it, straight pipe, and it's basically going to go right on the underside of this vehicle in place of the muffler and the catalytic converter. So we're going to straight pipe this thing. So you can see here, it's I believe it's about a 3.5-inch exhaust most of the way, aside from where it kind of shrinks down to where the muffler is and stuff, but unfortunately, I can't show you the underside because it's too dark. But either way, today I'm going to pull the exhaust off, take that straight tubing, weld it in place where the old exhaust, where the muffler and cat used to be, and then we'll see what it sounds like. So before we do any work on it, though, I'll just set you down the tripod here and start the van up just so you can kind of hear it in stock form. Yeah, so there she is in stock form, and as you can tell, it still makes some good diesel noises, but I want it to make more diesel noises. The idea here is that because it's got the tow package, I want to use it to trailer the car, and then I'll have the storage space in the back that if I want to use it for spare parts, spare tires, tools, whatever, I can do that. But if I also want to use it for camping out at the track, I can, because there's plenty of space back there to put a queen-size mattress or whatever. There's some events that I like to go to, like Grid Life, which I'm sure many of you have heard of. Everyone camps out at the track there, and I don't like tents that much, so this is the solution to that, because like I said, I can tow the car with it. It'll tow 10,000 pounds easy. I don't know if you guys have seen Haggard Garage, but they have the same van basically, just the cargo style, so it's a little bit shorter, but same motor and everything, and they use it to pull a 34-foot trailer, so it's got no problem towing. But let's not stop talking about that. I'm gonna get straight to it. I'm gonna pull the exhaust off, and we'll take a look at what we got and what I have to do to make it go straight. Okay, so that was a bit of a struggle, but here's the factory exhaust. Minus the end here, I had to chop the little tailpipe off to get it over the axle. Even when I lifted it up, it was still not enough clearance, so not a big deal though. So here's my plan anyway. So this is the end that hooks up to the downpipe off the turbo, and it's got basically a friction, I can't remember what these joints are called here. Basically the flange bolts up to the other flange, pulls the tubes together and seals them tight. So because this rotates, it gives me some freedom to figure stuff out. So my idea here is to cut this right behind these hangers, right in front of the cat. That way I can use this section as an adapter with the stock hangers there. And then weld the 4-inch pipe onto here using some magic wizardry and hammering. And then basically just carry that straight piece of pipe all the way back to right about there where the muffler would end. And then what I might do is take like probably this curve here and cut it in half and then use that as a downturn off the end of this. So I'll cut this back to here and then have the downturn pretty much just like this piece actually, but this one's a little bit smaller diameter than that. So I won't use this piece, but basically, yeah, it'll come off the 4-inch will come to here, and then maybe a little downturn, or maybe I'll just cut this on an angle and see how that looks. It might shoot the exhaust too far back and start melting stuff, maybe setting things on fire. I don't know. I don't want to risk that, so that's probably not going to be the case. But anyway, let me go grab the old chop saw, and we'll hack this guy up and then take her over to the welder.
Never mind, I'm thinking out loud before we draw a crowd. Reel it in, take it easy, there's no need to scream and shout. As far as I can see, my head think it's time for you to leave in peace.
Okay, so here's a mock-up of my final design. Right, the adapter here that goes to the downpipe with the original hangers, and then I got about 8 feet of exhaust pipe here, and then this little piece that I cut, that just a little downturn. Yeah, I realized that this is a lot smaller than this, and it should be the same size, you know, yada yada yada, simplicity, blah blah blah. But this is what I had. I didn't want to spend any money on this. I spent $30 on 10 feet of this tubing, and the rest of it's all being done with my welder, so that's technically already paid for. So I'm not spending any other money on this thing other than this $30, and I want to keep it that way, so I'm not going to buy any fancy ass tips or whatever. This is going to be underneath the van where you won't see it really, you're just going to hear it. So, and either way, even with that little restriction, it's not the smallest point of the exhaust because up here it's just as small. So I'm also removing this restriction right here and this massive thing right here, so there should be a lot more flow overall regardless of the size of that little guy there. Plus I don't plan on making this thing have tons and tons of power because I don't want it to blow up on me with how many kilometers it has on it. So the idea now is I'll take this to my house, we'll pinch in all the edges here and weld it all solid on either end, and then I'll come back here and I'll test fit it on the vehicle and figure out where I'm going to put the other hanger, because I'll need probably, well, one more should probably be fine to make this mostly stable. And then we'll tack that on, well, I'll mark it off, and then I'll go back home, weld that piece on, bring it back here, and we'll finally fit it up permanently, and we'll start the van up and see what she sounds. Alright, well there she is. My little creation. It ain't pretty, but I think it should work. So the next step is to basically hook these hangers here into their spots and kind of finger thread on some of the nuts that hold that flange together, and then just see where along the pipe I can hang it underneath there so it won't flop around. Well, the moment of truth has arrived. I don't think you'll be able to see it very well, but up at the front there, it's bolted up. There's a little turn down right by the diff. Unfortunately, I'm gonna need to adjust it a bit because it's like pointing towards the diff really more than I wanted it to, so that'll have to get changed. But other than that, not too bad. I've also got to finish the rear hanger. Right now it's just held up with baling wire because I didn't have enough rod stock to make it where I wanted to go. I couldn't really use these old hangers here. I just didn't want to deal with cutting them off. But out of all this mess comes something pretty awesome, I think, so let's start her up and see how she sounds. Well, there you go, guys. So it's definitely much more aggressive sounding. Although, like I said, I gotta get that tip to face the right direction and make the mount, make the hanger proper, because it's making a bit of a rattling noise right now because the heat shield there is too close. But that'll be fixed once I have the hanger in place. So that's all there is to it, really. By all means, don't do what I just did because it's kind of stupid. It's pretty ghetto. I just cut out all the emissions and, you know, legal shit that basically makes it so I can drive it legally on the road. So if I get pulled over, I can get in a lot of trouble for this. But I'm sure you guys already know that and already know you're gonna probably ignore it. So anyway, if you liked my video, I know this is a little bit different than what I usually do, but I figured I'd kind of do this sort of style, show off my new tow rig / track support vehicle, and see what you guys think. So any suggestions on some more upgrades or where I can find a decent lift kit for this thing? I've been looking around and all I can find is like $4,000 systems, so I don't want to go that expensive. But yeah, if you guys can find something for that, like that'd be sweet. Anyway, make sure you like and share the video, and make sure you're subscribed to us on YouTube. As always, I'm Garrett, and I'll see you next time on Pistonhead Garage.